6 o'clock, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first up is approval of the agenda.
Oh, for the approval of the April 9th, 2024 council meeting agenda.
Second. And moved in second. Is there any discussion? No? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed say no. We have an agenda. Next up is the consent agenda. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Is there any discussion?
Well, I have a question, but Scott's not here, so I don't know if anybody can answer it or not.
Share it with us, please.
She'll try.
Okay, in the Public Works Board meeting, Muskegon County, they talked about doing the marker here. Authorized solicitation of bids for Whitehall Township Water Extension Project. I know we've talked about this before, but I can't remember exactly where this is supposed to go. Does
I
anybody
do know it's going out near Silver Creek Road,
Yes.
that direction.
Oh, just down around the corner a ways,
I
or?
believe so.
Silver Creek and Mill Pond.
Oh, it's going all the way to Mill Pond Road?
Mill
Or
Pond
Trail?
Yeah,
Out the trail?
actually, I don't think anybody ever had any problems on Silver Creek. Well, maybe the ones right across the street.
Yeah, I think so.
The first three houses that were closest to the old wastewater, which would be all the way at the end of Mill Pond Road, those were the ones that had problems with their wells.
Mill Pond Trail. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Mill Pond Trail.
Okay, that's the only question I had, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Hearing none. All those in favor of the consent agenda, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, say no.
No.
Consent agenda is approved. Next, messages from the mayor, no city manager, and council. Okay.
Just a reminder, and I think I need to get this to Brenda, that May 18th is the day out at the transfer station. They call it the free dump day, but I'll make sure that everybody has appropriate information because there's limitations on what goes out there.
I thought I saw that it wasn't a free day, it was like a coupon for $25 off of.
That's
So, I
that's
wouldn't
what-
want people to show up and say, well, it's free.
Oh.
So
First-
they need to know that it's $25 off a load.
Yeah, and I think they figure that's a typical load, or actually higher than a typical load. So yeah, and that's what I'll make sure that information is clear. That that's what they you can't just show up with 5 dump trucks or something.
I wasn't here when they set the rates and so on for out there. I was wondering, is it, if people consider it to be too much or whatever?
Oh, sure.
Is it,
I mean, not the day that every municipality has the day that they do. No, prices have gone up. Transportation has gone up. The recycling market is been very volatile and mainly down. And people, what I say to people, well, you have to pay for garbage, and there has to be an economic value to the items for somebody to want to take them and use them. And so, it does cost, but that's, I think they do try to keep keep it down, but, all of the vendors, they have to pay all the vendors, but, I'll talk more another time, Tom, but I'm working on a project with a variety of folks, including the county, to look at some ways that we can improve recycling across the county. And the county's gonna have to, is agreeing to do a materials management plan according to the new law. It's called Part 115. So there's gonna be some requirements for them to show that there's a certain type of a certain amount of access for curbside and drop off, So I won't bore everybody with it right now. It's a subject I'm kind of nuts about, so I could go on for a long time. Next time, how's that?
But that date is May 18th for the City of Whitehall.
Yes.
I was out there a couple weeks ago and spoke with Tim, right?
Sure.
And seems like he runs a good operation, and he tries very hard to get the most out of the dumpsters and fill everything up and pack them down. And
He's a hard worker.
I found that if you got a big load of stuff, a big trailer load, and if you got the time, you're better off to drive all the way out to the wastewater itself, the county wastewater, and they, weigh your trailer and they weigh you in, weigh you out, and it was way cheaper than if we'd gone to the one out here, so. And they have these great big dumps, I mean, it's a really nice setup, but just, that's a long ways to drive, but it's quite a bit cheaper if you got a big load.
And one of the things that's gotten really expensive out here, from what I heard from people, is like if you've got building material, excess building material, they don't classify that the same as like garbage or brush or leaves or whatever. If you go out there with a level pickup truck load of used building material, it's probably gonna cost you $75 or $100 for the load.
And ideally, there's gonna be, there are some people who use some of those materials, there's a market for some of those demolition, type debris materials, but, I think one of the challenges we have in Muskegon County is because we do have recycling, certainly we have it in the White Lake area, and it's throughout the other rest of the county, but we traditionally have not been able to guarantee, like folks who might wanna come and get some of the materials recyclable or things, we've not been able to guarantee a high enough volume for them to come here and for it to be profitable, so. It's a complicated story.
Yep.
Yeah, so kind of along those lines, but separately, the trash bash is coming up. That's the 21st of this month from 1 to 4. So if y'all are willing to come along and pick up some trash, we'll all meet over at the chamber parking lot at 1. So
that's what day?
the 21st.
21st.
Yep.
This will be the second year in a row I missed it. I'm out of town.
Well,
you
that's
get
all right.
No, it's a credit union conference. Yeah.
We'll pick up some extra when you're on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tom.
You know what? I don't have too much today.
Okay.
Just enjoying the weather.
As we all are, I believe. Steve.
I have nothing tonight either.
Scott's not here, but I'll ask him, you can maybe transfer the message. I'd like to know where we're at with talking to the school about the pickup line that goes all the way down to Colby almost every day. I don't know if anybody knows anything about, last time it was brought up, you brought it up.
Yep.
I concur
I was
with
giving
you.
a little bit.
And, where we left it at, I think was, staff was gonna talk to the school.
We have talked to the school. The reality is, there's no good answer. There really isn't.
I think worst comes to worst, we need at least put some signage up over at the business over here so they do not block their driveway. If we have anything to do.
Well, they have their own signs that they put up. But people.
Yep, well, I understand. Deal with them every shift I work. Just like you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief. Thanks.
I just wanted to see if we knew anything.
Anything else, Scott?
Nope, that's it.
One thing I wanted to bring up was the email we got from city manager on the articles of incorporation for the fire authority. I'm the representative for one of the representatives from the fire authority. There was a couple of little errors in there. The one was 1 year and 5 year, and as Scott explained, the 5 years what it was supposed to be, and I'm here just to concur, say that yes, that is correct. That was supposed to be. Something got missed. We pay people to not miss it, but they got missed. So
The explanation that he put in there was good.
yes,
I don't think anybody's gonna.
it makes sense. So
Okay.
yep,
I just wanted to bring it up so it's on the record, so. Anybody have any comments on that? Okay. All right. Message from me, enjoy the weather, I certainly am. Let's move on to public comment. Anyone wishing to make a public comment, step up to the podium, give your name and address. Take 3 minutes and enlighten us.
Is this an agenda item or anyone can?
And anyone can come up and say anything they want for 3 minutes.
Okay, I thought it was at the very end, okay. Good evening, Christina Achterhoff with Senator John Bumstead's office. And they're on spring break right now, but prior to spring break, the legislature voted on a really hot topic that I'm sure you heard on the news, and it was the in vitro and the surrogate issue that's been a hot issue all over the whole country, and then our state passed that. And Senator Bumstead was one of, you saw in the news, it was only 2 Republicans that voted for this and joined their Democratic colleagues, and Senator Bumstead was one of the 2 that did support this in vitro and the surrogacy. So as a woman, I was happy for it. We're going to understand that's the news if you hear it. I know there was a lot of controversy, but it did pass, and the governor did sign that into law, so that changed. So at any rate, that was the important topic that I wanted to bring up, because you'll be hearing things around, and so John was pretty adamant about it, and I know he may have ticked off a few people in the thing, but you gotta vote what you gotta vote your conscience. So at any rate, other than that, John did introduce a couple years ago a bill for like $250 million to go into our campgrounds. And so if you're a camper and you're going out and about this year, you should see a lot of new things at the campsites around our whole state. New bathrooms, showers, parking lots, a lot of new amenities that will help our state, because that's a big thing with camping. Other than that, it's bear season, so I just want to share, this is just a little information. It's bear season in our state. And I know it happens more in upper northern Michigan or in the UP, but we have been known to have bears around here. So just being mindful, if you have bird feeders or your trash, to try and not encourage them to around your property. So just a little info. And then also fishing licenses and ORV licenses became effective for the season starting April 1st. So those are available through the state. So for any fishermen and ORV people, those are available for you to have. So other than that, yes.
How did Mr. Bumstead vote on the issue with the state overruling local communities on solar farms and?
Oh, he didn't support that. John believes it should be in the local control.
Right.
Yeah.
And is there any news on that?
There isn't. I know there's a lot of people trying to repeal it. I know the Michigan Township Association, and they're moving, trying to change that, but yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know that's another hot topic with people, especially with the smaller communities, and it's understandable. But so they're trying to see if they can change it, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It's pretty much comes down to, I shouldn't say party lines, but that's an issue that does, and so there's a lot of our elected officials in the state that are from larger communities that really do want it. So they don't understand the smaller communities and why we want to control that. Yeah, so that.
Are they getting enough signatures for it to be a referendum?
They're working on it. It'll be a good thing to see if they can. So I don't have a definite answer on that yet. That's all I know. But I understand but John did not support that. He's all for local control for those issues.
One comment I got is, could you put a bug in his ear about the deceased deer on the highways? I know there's a issue with the DNR and road commissions, et cetera, but I'm tired of seeing 18 dead deer between Muskegon and Whitehall on the side of the highway.
Yeah, that is a road commission.
That's apparently an issue between the DNR.
Okay.
They changed something.
I will let
Please pass that along.
Okay, see.
Just gotta do something with them. They can leave them there to just dry up and blow away. It takes a long time.
From the last time I was on the highway from Whitehall, Colby Street exit 1 mile sign to the exit.
Yeah.
There were 9 of them that I counted.
Oh,
That's in a 1 mile
That's in a
stretch
1 mile stretch.
heading north. That's not counting whatever might be on the other side going south.
So it'd be nice if somebody could poke somebody and get it to go back the way it used to be. So.
did they used to pick them up? Did the road commission do
Road
it?
commissions used to pick them up, but
Oh,
something
something
happened
happened.
between the
Okay.
DNR and the road commissions where they won't do it. And it's not just Muskegon; they're
All
all
over the
over.
state, yeah.
On every highway. So
Have anything to do with the chronic wasting disease or
I
anything
think it
like
had to
that?
do with somebody read something one way and changed the rule. Or
I'll look
something.
into it.
So
See,
that would be
find out.
outstanding.
Okay, thank you.
many people would be happy with that, especially when we're trying to be pure Michigan and look nice.
I know,
It doesn't
I
look
know.
nice with that.
Okay.
Thank you for your
Okay,
comments.
thank you. Nice seeing everyone. Thanks.
Anyone else? Okay. Move on to old business. I believe we have any pending old business. Let's go to new business. Resolution 24-13, Warner Street Engineering.
I will make a motion to pass resolution 2413, Warner Street Engineering with Prime and New.
Second.
And moved in second. Is there any discussion?
I don't really understand the increase. I mean, I wish Scott was here, because I just totally don't understand it. I mean, you know, their letter, you know, saying, in addition, this is an MDOT local agency project which requires additional time and resources for tracking hourly wages and a lot of additional paperwork for project auditing from MDOT. Oh, they knew that when they bid it at $79,700. You know, I don't understand a $158,200 increase.
Well, I'm not meaning to throw you under the bus, but we do have our treasurer here. Maybe she could give us some insight into that.
I'll do my best to answer. The design engineering was what was originally paid for in the $70,000 range. And then the addition was after they had a better idea of what construction costs were going to come into actually completing the street project itself. So the additional engineering costs are for the actual construction engineering.
It's actually more than double, right?
Well, the design engineering was the 79.7, and then the construction engineering was the 158.2.
Pretty close.
They just didn't know based on, because the project had been pushed out and costs changed and.
I have to agree with Scott on that. And I remember it happening with Klein and Newhoff when I was on before, and I'm just not sure I understand how you can be so off on your original estimate.
Well, it sounds almost
it's-
like it wasn't even.
It's two different things. The
Yeah.
first one is the design.
Yeah.
So designing the road, the gutters, all that stuff. This one is actually the engineering of putting it all together.
But
putting
they
the puzzle
didn't
together.
estimate any of that.
No,
So
it
with
doesn't look
zero,
like they did,
that's
so,
strange.
yeah.
Why wouldn't they have at least some number, and maybe it would fluctuate a little bit, but an additional 160,000 is
Well, we're a small,
concerning.
we're a small city.
And we don't really have much choice. Our hands are kind of tied since
Correct.
we're already started
Right.
with the project, so it's concerning.
I'd be happy to find out why there was that gap
That would be great.
That would be good.
and let everyone know, so that would be okay?
That would be great. We've had them for a long time, I know, and it just seems, well, I mean, they're gonna bill what they're gonna bill, but it does affect our budgets.
I mean, I've asked for years why Pre and Newhoff gets every contract in the city. You know, everything else has to be bid. We don't ever ask for bids for engineering studies.
But we have them under contract, don't we,
I
for,
believe so.
I think we have some type of agreement for most of these things. Don't we?
Most companies like this have a master service agreement, and then you'll enter into specific agreements for individual projects.
Yeah, we have that's the type of agreement that we have, So that's why it seems like nobody else is getting to bid on these things.
How long does that run?
I don't know that offhand. I would imagine that it's probably going to be an indefinite contract, given that the payments are for the specific projects, though. It's the master service agreement's there to just structure the overarching agreement between the companies. And then each individual project will have its own set of guidelines and agreement.
So the reason is mainly because of MDOT and their rules, or their requirements?
That seems to be part of it.
Well, and as I understand it, there's only a handful of companies in the state that do this particular type of work.
I had another question, too. It says, recommending transferring $100,000 out of the major street fund, which had a balance of $670,000. Is that a normal amount to have in there? Is that on the high side? Is that
Well, I think we
side
put
or-
money into the major streets for the eventual use of
for the next
working
project
on
down
the
the
next
road?
project? Yeah, I mean, we try to, it's always good to have the money in
Right.
hand to pay for the work. So we're not in debt for roads.
And pay for pipe or like we did last time, so.
Yep.
The project.
Yeah, okay.
So I think this is, to your concern, Scott, I think this is something that maybe we should throw onto a work session to talk about and see how we feel about that, but I think we need to move forward with approving this resolution. So, unless there's any further discussion, call for a roll call, please.
Holmstrom,
Yes.
Sickinga,
Yes.
Brown,
No,
Zemer,
Yes.
Hillebrand,
No,
Kabala,
Yes.
Salter.
Yes. Resolution passes. All right. Next up is public comment. Anyone wishing to make public comment? Anyone on the council? Anyone in the room got anything they want to say?
did, you took a picture, did the rest of the wall get painted?
When I took the picture, they had run out of paint. They were
Oh.
going to get more paint.
Yeah,
The north part is done now. The part where it hangs
All of
down.
it's done now?
But I don't know if they've been in there painting, because
They were painting today.
I mean, okay,
Oh,
but I mean
Oh, no.
Artistically.
the vandals, I mean.
yeah.
Cause I caught a vandal in there a few weeks back. Made him stop and told him, he said, well, I can just finish this. I said, no, I don't want you to finish it. I said, if you're gonna do any more painting, I want you to go get the color of paint that's on the wall and cover up what you already did. And then I says, if you don't like that idea, I can call the police and they can let you know. So he called the police and, they let him know, and I told him, you know, you ought to come back and paint it. Well, 2 hours later, it was all painted over, you couldn't even tell he painted. It was kind of a cool picture too, but,
Yeah.
you know, it was,
Right.
but, you know, you gotta go by the rules, and we didn't have any signs up, so.
Okay.
You know, he says some places they go and they paint over everything so that everybody can start over again.
We're-
But he was a
well,
nice kid, he was a nice guy, he was, you know, he took care of his mess.
just so everyone knows that it's no longer approved to paint on the walls.
Exactly.
And I think we need a little bit better signage.
They are they have plans to put signs up, yes.
I mean,
I spoke with
I saw,
DPW today.
saw some paper ones last time I went through there, laminated ones or whatever, that we need to do a little bit better job on our part. Just like, probably the same reason that it got out of hand in the first place. We didn't manage it right from the get-go.
Anything else? We're adjourned. Thank you all for coming.